All right, so I'm gonna show you two ways how you can tackle this. Okay, the first way is I showed you before in your notes. This is your 3.5 classwork. All right, the second part of your notes that you're gonna work with Mr. K and myself and Mrs. K. So right here, X wants to be alone. X wants to be all by itself, right? Leave me alone, plus 5. So you got to think, how can I get rid of that plus 5? Think opposite. So that's what I always do. I say think opposite, all right? And then we can get rid of the 5. So what's the opposite of a positive 5? Minus 5, right? But whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. So that's our other key too. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side. All right, you got it. All right, you're like, geez, Lacey, creepy. All right, so what I would like to do is below my equal sign, I like to make a little line going straight down. So there's my left side and there's my right side. So whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other, right? So 5 minus 5 cancels out. What am I left with? Just X equals, right on our line there, and then 15 minus 5. What's 15 minus 5? 10. All right? Awesome. All right, this is my favorite method. This is the way I like to do it. If you want to see a different way, you can ask Mrs. K or Mr. K. But I like to just start off by drawing a straight line. And then looking at my variable. My variable is X. Leave me alone, plus 8. X wants to be all by itself. To get rid of that positive 8 that's bugging my X, I got to think opposite. What's the opposite of plus 8? Minus 8. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other, right? So 8 minus 8 cancels out. Boop. Right? Now I'm left with X equals, what's 20 minus 8? They're different, so you got to subtract them, right? We end up with 12, and since 20 is bigger, it stays a positive 12. Okay? You can check your work. It says check your solutions in the directions. We could do that by plugging our answers back in. So if X is 10, I can say 10 plus 5. Does that equal 15? Sure does. 12 plus 8, so I'm plugging 12 back in. Does that equal 20? Sure does. Check, check. Woohoo, we're doing good. Again, draw your line. So I'm going to have you do that for every single problem. Just draw your line. So whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side of the equal sign. So if you look, I drew my line. Right? And you do that for every single problem. Now, X is saying, leave me alone. Minus 3. This is a negative 3. So now we just got to think opposite. What's the opposite of minus 3? The opposite of minus 3 is positive 3. Don't forget, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. All right? So negative 3 plus 3, cancel, cancel, cancels right out. I'm left with X equals, well, what's 9 plus 3? 9 plus 3, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good, and I can check my work. X is 12, minus 3 equals 9. So does 12 minus 3 equal 9? I think so. That works good. That's nice. I'm going to do one more problem with you, and then a couple more problems on the next sheet, and then you're on your own. All right, y minus 4. What's the opposite of minus 4? Opposite of minus is plus. Good. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Good. So negative 4 plus 4. Those cancel out. I'm left with a y equals 7 plus 4, 11. Okay? Now I have my a minus 7. What's the opposite of minus 7? Plus 7. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other. I'll let you finish that up. Don't forget you can check your work as you go to make sure you're doing good. And then on the next sheet that you're going to have, okay, same thing. So I'm just going to help you with your setup, okay? So, okay, draw your line going straight down for every single problem. That's so that way, whatever you do to one side, you can do to the other. So in this case, x, leave me alone, minus 5. Get out of here. I don't want you there no more. So what's the opposite? Think opposite. What's the opposite of minus 5? Yeah, add 5. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other. So 5's cancel out. Bring down the x. Bring down the equal sign. 11 plus 5 is 16. So if you're like, whoa, Mr. Lacey, where do you get that sheet from? Ask Mrs. Kiss. This is the 3.5 continued version. So you guys are going to finish this up. Have Miss Kiss check it out, and then she'll give you your practice work. All right? Good luck.